Okay, so this is a footage. It's a 8 seconds footage. Okay, 192 frames. Oh man. Alright, so first thing first, as usual, project settings, 24 full HD. Okay, so first thing you need to analyze the shot. Okay, another notes I forgot to mention. If let's say you have a shot where there's a trees, there's a car moving, there's people walking on a street, and then you want to track that shot. Okay, one thing that you need to know, in order for you to track, make sure you're having a clean camera track shot. You need to avoid or deny or delete all the tracking point that will be appears on the subject that is moving. For example, like this situation, other than the camera is moving, but the people also moving. Okay, the guy moving, people on the background also moving. So if you see any tracking marker appears on that subject matter that is moving, you need to avoid, you need to delete. If not, you cannot have a clean tracking data. Okay? If let's say you capture a trees, a landscape, there's a trees during the day and it's windy. Every single pieces of that leaf, I mean the trees itself, if the leaf is moving, also it will interrupt your tracking data. So you need to avoid or maybe delete that tracking data to be appears on that moving object. Okay? So the tracking marker needs to be on a static place, For example, like this one is the ground, this pillar, the structure here, maybe the monitor here, not on the human, not on a moving area. Okay? Alright, so first thing, analyze, see whether any other stuff moving other than the camera. Tracking marker is static, good, but this guy is moving. So you need to roto out the guy. Okay? But the good thing is you don't have to roto the guy like so detailed. It can be a trash roto or garbage roto, whatever you want to call it. It will take some time. 50. And I will check the interval in between whether the guy is outside of the roto or not. If it does, please adjust. done here. Hopefully the tracking is okay. Right, so after that you need this one tool, which is the main one, camera tracker. Okay, so in order for you to use this tracker, you need to use NukeX. If you use normal Nuke, it cannot be done. Okay, for you to track this, if you want to track any shots, any 3D related shots, any 3D related workflow, you need to use NukeX. Okay, I don't want to listen any after this. So why cannot use this camera track? Because you are currently in Nuke, normal Nuke. Please use NukeX. Okay. Okay. So next, after you attach this with the shot, alright, and there's a mask. It's hidden there. This one little arrow over here, which is mask, connect back to the rotor. Okay. So view from camera track. Okay, camera track, view. Go to the properties over here under camera tracker. So there's a source, sequence, mask, range, which is the input from 1 to 192, 192, and then camera motion, lens distortion, focal length. For now, just leave it there first, except for this one, the mask. Okay, before you click anything on the mask here, go to settings and preview features. Okay, but you will see there's a cross X marker over there that will be appear on a certain area, random area, right? Of course, it will detect your tracking marker here, the X marker here, and also other places as well. Right? So this is automatically detected by the software. So you need to go back to camera track. So since you don't want the tracker to be on this subject matter, which is moving guy, you go to the mask because the mask is connected to the rotor and it has their own alpha. Okay? So mask alpha. Okay, so it will remove whatever marker to be appears on the guide, right? If I disconnect this. Okay. You can see, right? Okay, so if I connect this to the mask to the rotor and go here, by right it should be like this, right? Since you already rotor out that guy, this one click to mask alpha. So whatever on the alpha, you don't have the tracking marker. Okay? If you want to play one round, just play one round. Whether make sure there's no marker to be appears on that guy. Okay, so I think it's okay for now. Right? This one is for you to monitor the number of features. It's also it will generate you a tracking point. It depends on the numbers over here. It depends on the shot. If you have lesser tracking marker appears, maybe you need to increase. By default, it's 150, but you need to control this. If you're doing comp, it's fine to increase. But if you want to bring this from Nuke to Maya and Maya to Nuke, you need to be careful with the numbers here, because the more numbers that you have, the more locators that will generate it in Maya, And I'm afraid it might be confused which is which later. If it's too many locator, and sometimes it will crash your Maya because it's too heavy, too much locator. So be careful with this number, right? So usually I will increase it like gradually, not just jump to a bigger number, maybe 250 and then 350 and then 450, right? It depends, alright? Depends on the shot. 350 is fine, right? As long as you have a cross X marker here, this will be your locator. You know locator, right? In Maya, the cross in Maya later. I will show you. Okay. This represent one locator, one locator, one locator. So if you increase this like 2000, like I don't know how many locators in that specific area. So you don't know which is which later in Maya. So be careful with this. Look at the numbers here. Make sure it's not too many. And not too less lah. Basically, as long as your marker has that cross X cross marks, it's fine. That represents your locator later. Okay, and make sure it appears all the way. Is there all the way? Okay, so after you're done, go back to camera track, then only you start to track. Just now you just monitor, haven't tracked yet, you track. Sometimes, also depends on the shots, green screen or blue screen or any shot, night scene. Sometimes you need to be noise first before you track, because sometimes noise it will affect the process of tracking, because the green and the noise is too obvious. So that tracking cross marks will like jump from one part to another, from one pixel to another pixel, here and there. Okay, so clean up that noise first or green before you track, but you still need that green. It's just a matter of you need the data from the shots. So you remove first, then you track. But the green maintains that. When you do the comp, please maintain back all the green and noise. Okay, now you have these and then soft. Okay, now I have 1.21 should be okay. Alright. The more error that you have, the result will be bad lah basically. So more numbers, let's say 2 above, I will consider bad lah. So 1.2, 1.1 or lesser than 1 should be okay, right? It also depends on where that you aim for. Let's say for this one, if you go to the cursor, if you move the cursor to the tracking marker, the error is 1.14. This is like overall average 1.21. Okay, specific marker over there is 1.14, which is okay, 1.14, and then check here, 1.77, which is bad. 0.952, so which is good. 2, which is bad. 1.09, which is good. This is 0.997, which is good. Alright, so lesser is better. So double check here on these guys. 0.2, which is okay. These guys 1.55, okay. Okay, okay. 1.16, okay. 2, 0.6. So overall it's okay. Okay, 0.5, 0.3, 1.21, quite high. 1.93, not okay. Okay, 1, 0.5, 1.14, 1.27. Okay. So in general, overall it's okay. Okay, maybe one or two, maybe more. Of course, more than that is. I mean, most of them are below 1.5, which is for me is okay, right? Okay, so if you're satisfied with this, if you want to refine more, go to auto track. This one is quite tricky. I think there's a lot of tutorial that you can follow later, but I'll show you a really quick one. Minimum length is usually set to 3, which is this one. The minimum, which is okay. Minimum is 3 is okay. The RMS is always aligned with the max error here. Sorry. Yeah, over here. So the line here, max error here, and this is the RMS. Usually I will lower down until I meet the. This represent the numbers of error lah, 2 and above. So I don't want this 2. Any here that is above 2, I don't want. So you can set the ceiling. So the minimum length is the floor, and maximum track error is the ceiling. So I don't want any track here is beyond 2. Okay. So I remove that one. So I set the ceiling here, max error, and then I go to error here. Usually I will find the average lah, basically here. Okay. So if I delete rejected, which is the red color there, and delete unsolved, if I have one, unsolved is usually in orange color. The rejected point, which is that I filter just now, I don't want above 2. It will get deleted lah. So click that one and click this one. Just now is 1.21. Now it's already 1.08 average. Okay. So I have lesser tracking point that has the most error lah. So the highest is maybe 1.8, 1 point something, right? Not above 2. So after that, you can go to export here, Scene Plus, and create. It will give you a this note, basically like a preset or template shortcut for you to get all these notes. It's also, if you're comfortable like manually get all these things connected, feel free to do that. But you can have a shortcut here. It will generate basically a template of the workflow lah, the framework. Okay, so from here, scene 1. If you look at the, okay, from camera track, you view from scene 1. Okay, full screen. If you view from this, somehow you can see the camera is already mimic the movement of the shot lah. Basically, it's all based that area. You can see through from the camera, and this is the movement. But did you notice something? Not really background. The ground, yes. Can you see the grid over there? That grid represents the ground, and the ground is not on the right place. Okay, so go back to camera tracker. Okay, which one is the ground? Obviously, here lah, the ground. You can select this tracking marker that you have as the ground. Right click on that selected marker, ground plane, set to selected. Go back to scene, and you have your ground. Okay. Okay. Then, for now, okay, this one maybe it's hard for you to view. because there's no footage. So for you to align back with the footage, press number 1 on the scene, press number 2 on the scalar render. So you have 1 and 2. So there's a tool over here called wipe. Just turn it on. Sorry, number 2 should be on the camera track. Okay. Oh. Scene, and then wipe to scene. This one scalar render. Okay, change to scalar render. Scene 1, which is number 1, number 2 at scalar render, and then wipe. Basically, you can wipe lah. Okay. For you to check and to make sure that this is the ground, and then this is tracking marker, and that tracking marker stick on that ground. Change this to over. Yeah. Okay, so satisfied with the track? So you
Sir, can we add our tracker? Like I want to add one track from my own.
you can manually add if you want. If you want to add that tracker, it has to be here, add track. So you add track, for example, let me do it another note lah. See first before it crash. Okay, so for example, like if you want to add your own tracker, you can add this, add track, go to use track and pinpoint to any place that you think can be tracked, let's say this corner. Oh shit, it's stuck. Then you track lah one by one. But usually I will do that like tracking manually lah. So I need to save my time to do something else. There's a lot of other things that you need to do. So try to optimize your flow. If you can get 2 steps, but at the end, if let's say this one thing you need to do in 10 steps to finish and get the result. But if you can find any other way, maybe lesser than 10 steps, maybe 3 or 4 steps, but at the end you get the same result, just do with whatever that you think it works lah. Right? Find a solution. So your task is to find a solution. Okay, so you have one, and then you need to find another one and one. Why not you just do all auto track and then filter? Whichever that has higher error, just delete it. You have all the tools there. Okay? Right? Okay, so is it? Okay, so right after you're done with this, You satisfied with this? Then you render out the tracking data. So to render out the tracking data, usually you use write to render out your footage, right? Write node. WRITE. Right. So there's another one called write geo. This one. Okay. So write geo connect to scene. And then name it properly. Put it here. For example, week 7 camera track. Dot. Okay, this is important. It needs to be FBX file. Dot FBX. FBX stands for film box something, film box format. So try to remember this. The format to transfer from one software to another software is always FBX, in between you to another software. It can be ABC, Alembic file as well, Alembic. But for this purpose, just maintain it FBX lah, right? It's quite universal. Alembic can be accessed to any other software, Houdini, Cinema 4D, Blender, and whatnot, right? Okay, so open, and you will have this name and directory, and then down here is FBX, and you have ABC, Alembic, and all that. Just maintain FBX. This one, the rest of it, I think you just maintain it as default lah, right? Because it's not really important. Make sure everything you tick. You need all the information, and then just click execute. Make sure this is set to global. Your frame range from 1 to 192, and click OK. So it will render all the markers in 3D form, right? Okay. So after you're done, save, because you're going to use this back, and go to Maya. Okay. It's either you drag the FBX to the what do you call this? The viewport, or go to File, Import, and find the file, which is camera track.fbx just now. Okay, there you go. That is the locator. Okay, the more numbers of features that you add, the more locator will produce. So this is all the locators until I don't know how many thousands here, 1,553 locators. So the more that you add, later you might be confused which is which, because it's too much. Just now I set to 350, right? So this is the numbers that you have. Okay, be careful with that. But it's fine. Now you need to align back the grid, and also basically the grid is following the grid that you set on in here. It's there lah. The grid, the angle is there. It's just the scale of the cameras and the locators. I think it's a bit weird. So you need to group all these things from cameras to all the locators and group it. Control G. Okay, and then from the group, you expand the scale. If you increase this individual thing just now, it will interrupt the process of tracking lah. Your locator will be not accurate anymore. So make sure you group it, and then you enlarge, right? You upscale. Okay, what about this locator? I don't know, I don't see all its intersect like each other, so you don't know which is which. So this is where you open your group, select all the locators except for cameras. Do not select the cameras, and then you downscale. if you play this, make sure you set to your preferences is set to play back. Play every frames and make sure the speed is 24 frames per second. It depends on your shot lah. If your shot is 25, set to 35. If it's 24, it's 34. Because of I export this from Nuke, and Nuke I already set to 24, and then it detected as 34 lah, and then save. Then you play. That is the movement of your camera. So view from cameras. Perspective change to cameras. So this is the view from the camera. Okay. So now where to put your object? With this switch. This is where you put back the footage. Okay. So select the cameras. Basically you can change the view to perspective, back to perspective. Select the camera, go to camera shape, okay, go down and find environment, and there's an image plane, okay, create image plane, and it will create basically the plane over here, which represent the plane for the screen for the footage. Okay, so under this, you need to attach with the file, with your footage. Just now is image sequence, but if you want to use video also can, but just now it's already converted into a image sequence, so let it be as default lah, image file. But if it's in video, MP4 or MOV, change the type here to movie. If not, it will not appear lah. It will not view your footage or image. If you having an image sequence, change to image, right? And then it will view your footage properly. So just now is image sequence. Just stick with image file. Go to image name. Go to desktop, whatever directory lah. And this is the file. Okay. Select and set to image sequence. And then double check your video, make sure it's moving. Okay, done. Now try to see through from the camera. Select all the locators. Now you know where to put your stuff, right? Okay. Which one do you think is proper? I think that marker lah kan. Okay, I'm just gonna select one marker over there, or locator, and I'm going to isolate that by go to this isolate select. So click first the locator and isolate. Where's the isolate? This one. Okay. So I only have this one locator appears. I will enlarge it. Okay. For this tutorial, for this demo, I'm just going to use Cube. Later you need to place your own model. Okay, there you go, the Cube. Okay, and that is the locator, and this is the Cube.
இவனே சொல்லி கொடுத்துடலாம்.
Select only these two things. Okay, Right, so now you have the cube and also the locator. So it's now to align back with the position lah. So you know the snap
D.
tools, right? You know, right? So since I want to snap the vertex, I'm just gonna press C. So you can't see vertex is V. Okay, snap the vertex. Press V and then it will snap lah. Hold V and it become circle, snap. Okay, if you have more locator, then you don't know where to snap. Okay, at least you isolate first, then you only snap to that one locator. Right, so after you already snap that, okay, then see the scale whether it's okay or not. The scale is not okay, but the depth is there because the distance from the camera and the locator is real. It's the accurate one. It's just a matter of scale, right? So maybe the scale you need to decrease. Okay, and that's all. Okay, after you're satisfied with this, you can select all the locators and press H to hide. You don't need that anymore. And then that is your props lah. Whatever model, 3D model or any asset. If you, let's say you want to put trees, anything lah. So from the camera data, you can put anything into the scene, into the shots. Okay. And then after you're done with this, set up all the lightings.
So the rotation also works.
Rotation?
Rotation of the object.
You can rotate.
But you know that the file is actually in the middle of the cube, right? So it's not exactly on the floor. It's half on the floor, right? Okay.
Okay. Turn off the grid if it's confusing lah. Turn off the grid so you can check whether it's stick on the floor or not.
So if even though the object is animated, let's say the box is opening or what, it's not going to affect anything else. Or do we have to do another new stuff?
What again?
Like the object now is just a box, right? If let's say the it's an animation, the box is opening or something like that. So do we need to add anything new or it's just same process like this?
The whole process of this is to get your position correct. For animation, you will have to do something else. Then put it back here. But for now, is to get the correct. This is a place where you want to position your 3D object.
But for example, if you have animation that you downloaded, for example, alright, you have that, then you can just put it inside, just put it on the floor, then you should be fine. You don't have.
Or basically the same process lah, even though it's animated or not.
Yes.
Okay.
For example, you are done animating, right? And then you can just put that model with the animation, just put it on the same floor, then you will be fine. Now it looks floating, right? It looks floating, right? Because there's no contact shadow. Yes. So that's why you need to comb, and that's why you're taking look depth right now. No, not yet.
Next time.
Okay, next time you take depth. That is where you learn on how to get all the passes, shadow passes, reflection, AO, and all that. And then you bring all the passes to nuke and to comb and to merge back whatever lah, right? Make sure everything looks bland. You need all the shadows, you need all the contact shadows, highlight, reflection if you have one. So you need all that. Okay? So this is a basic on how to bring from how to track basically, and you need a tracking marker. And make sure that tracking marker to be put on that specific, let's say you want to put something on that specific area, make sure that specific area has the main tracker. The rest of it you can add up, right? Make sure the point that you want to put has tracker, so it will detect the distance between the camera and also that position. If you put somewhere else, let's say I want to put here, but you put the tracking marker there, the camera cannot detect the distance between camera and also that place. So later if you place, let's say that tracking marker represent your locator lah basically. So you're selecting the locator on the wrong place and you put on the wrong place. So later distance wise, definitely it will totally wrong lah, right? It result to sliding, you know, those kind of things. Scale is not right, distance because of the distance. So make sure you are putting the tracking marker on the right position, okay? Because you need that distance. Okay, so now let's say satisfied with the model. Okay, I just apply a simple lighting lah. LED light. Don't worry if you accidentally move the camera because it's animated already. Always can change to perspective, and this is your lighting. I know. Camera full
Oh, even
HD.
kecil.
You know how to render, right?
Yes.
Okay, full HD, and then animated. Name, number and extension. Okay. This is in PNG. I think should be enough. From frame 1 to frame 192, make sure your frame range is correct. Camera and close, right? So see the lighting over here.
Dulu pernah. 43 minutes. Like stop on laptop.